Hey guys, let's keep talking about 10.07 Resto Shaman and the new talents that have been presented to us this week. If you're like me, you're playing this new Chain Heal build with Tidebringer, right? And Tidebringer has felt incredibly strong in Mythic Plus, and I've heard that it's doing quite well in Raid as well. You kind of firing these machine gun like chain heals with 1 second cast time, right? It feels really cool, it looks really cool, and it's doing well clearing content. What you might have missed is up here we have this talent called Flow of the Tides. And what Flow of the Tides does is when you chain heal a target with a Riptide active, it's going to consume that Riptide that you place on that target um, and increase the healing of your chain heal by 30%, along with causing chain heal to bounce an additional time. So 5 targets total, 30% extra healing, and that is across the whole chain heal, right? Not just the initial target. It'll hit all 5 people with that extra 30%. Now, if you combine this with your other kind of throughput abilities, such as Master of the Elements, and of course High Tide, which causes your chain heals to not lose any potency with each bounce, or to not reduce with each bounce, suddenly you're talking about a 5-person heal that is really really strong, and it finally feels responsive and quick, along with Tidebringer, right? You've got this huge burst of healing on hand, on deck, if you use a Flow of the Tides and a Tidebringer at the same time. We'll take a look at some clips in a second about what that looks like in practice, but just a couple things to note. You're going to want some kind of Riptide tracker if you're going to use Flow of the Tides, right? The reasoning is that you don't want to eat, or you don't want to remove Riptides that you just placed on, right? Now, the general playstyle is you keep Riptide active, you keep it on off cooldown. I'm sorry, you keep it on cooldown. You try to use it as often as possible. So you want to actually consume Riptides that are about to fall off or that are nearing the end of their duration, because that doesn't affect how strong Flow of the Tides is. Flow of the Tides, just if you consume any Riptide at all, it's going to increase your chain heal by 30%. So it doesn't matter how long is remaining on that Riptide. So you want to do your best to eat Riptides that are almost falling off and not ones that you just put on. So I want to talk a bit about kind of what this build should look like and feel like when you're playing it. Um, I think the places where people kind of get stuck on Resto Shaman is it is a lot of decision making. Actually, there's a lot of abilities, and you have to kind of decide which one to use when. And that's part of the challenge, and for me, a lot of the fun of it. That kind of snap decision making that you have to do. Uh, and it's no different with this new chain heal build. You're not just spamming chain heal. You shouldn't be spamming chain heal, at least. You should be thinking of the new chain heal build as a shotgun or a cannon that was given to you. And this cannon is full of wonderful healing water, right? Wonderful shaman juice. And you shouldn't be using it willy-nilly. You should be saving up the procs, right? You should be saving up High Tide and Tidebringer and Flow of the Tides and combining it all together and using it when you need to. So in a boss like this, for example, when the damage is all very compact and predictable, I know exactly when the damage is coming out. I can prepare for it. So this first one, I'm going to do this Primordial Wave combo. I decide I don't really need that many chain heals, even though I'm getting I'm getting Riptide on everybody to do the Primordial Wave. I'm not spamming chain heal here, right? I don't need to spam chain heal. It's very mana intensive, and it kind of wastes the procs that you want to save for something like this, for the Stomp, for example. So right back there, just think about it conceptually. I used P-Wave on the first set of damage, so the circles, and then I fired off a couple chain heals on the Stomp, the second set of damage. So we're going to see this a couple times here, because this fight is very repetitive, obviously. And we'll just see, keep paying attention to how I deal with damage. You know when the damage is coming. What do I do before? What do I do during? And what do I do after, right? If you wanted to track, so the Riptide, you can track on the party frames there. I've set it up as a pink box at the top right of each person's name. So here, for this particular damage, I used Ascendance, right? And we're going to do a chain heal. I ate the one on myself there. Probably not ideal because I just put it on, but I wanted the burst healing. I didn't want to think too hard about it. Had the Ascendance active, it just fired it off. Obviously, the ideal would be to eat a chain heal, as I mentioned earlier, that is almost falling off, as like the priest is almost falling off there, for example. But since I had Ascendance active, I knew that I had enough throughput to get through that particular damage instance, right? So let's watch again here. I think I'm going to use Primordial Wave on this next one as well. Really scary moment here, actually, as we have the thundering at the same time. We have to clear really quickly. But we managed to get all the trees again. So there goes the Primordial Wave, and only a couple Riptides active here, but I need to be quick to top everybody before the stomp, right? We got a chain heal on the Druid, whose Riptide was almost falling off. A big heal on the party, obviously. So this is just kind of what you want to do, right? I'm not using chain heal over and over and over. That's not how the build worked before, and that's not how the build works now. The build is, how I like to look at it, right, is Resto Shaman is the same as it was before, except you've been given this huge cannon, right? This huge healing cannon. And if you think about it that way, I think conceptually it's going to make a lot more sense here. So let's keep watching, see if anything's different. Putting Riptides on people here, using Primordial Wave again. We've got 5 active. Everybody's topped here, ready for the stomp, and we actually have a tree, so it's going to do a little more damage here. Got the chain heal on myself, and everybody's topped already, so I don't need to do any more than that, right? So this is just conceptually how you want to think of it. Don't spam, just use it as a burst of healing that is in your toolkit now, okay? So good luck with your dungeoneering and your raiding, and as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, leave a comment, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.